So this is the Halo Reach, Halo Minimates Series 1 George, which, as I said in the packaging video, I still think it should be pronounced Jorge and Noble 6. Unlike the other two reviews, this is not a Toys R Us exclusive. Alright, I'm going to start this one off with George, whom, unfortunately, I have to say is the most disappointing figure in this wave so far. I'll get into why he's disappointing later. First I'll start off with his detail. His mask is very well done. Definitely one of the more interesting to look at masks. Very nice. On his chest piece here, he has this red thing, which hinders his articulation a bit. That way he can't turn much. This way he can turn all the way. That way not so much. Now he's got these shoulder pads, which again hinder his articulation. Reminds me a lot of the Iron Man 2 Minimates, where you can't have their arms up too much. You gotta kind of just like bend them like this. And unfortunately that's what you have to do with George as well. His chest piece is, again, very detailed, very awesome. You can see a lot of work went into this. He's got this backpack here. At least I think it's a backpack. Looks like one. More super detailed things are his gloves. They look very nice, and they are different from the other gloves that we've gotten from this line so far. And now we get into the disappointing. One thing that I don't like about Minimates, and it's the only thing I'll always say, is that sometimes their joints are a little too loose. Sometimes it's their heads, sometimes it's their arms, their elbows. This figure has very loose leg. This leg in particular. It really makes it weird to stand him up, because he'll just like not stand up because the leg keeps bending backwards. So you'll have to eventually have him in this weird angle where he's kind of on one leg. It's really bizarre. What I've considered doing was taking him apart and switching his legs, but in fact his legs are very different from normal Minimate legs. Now, if I take this piece off, you will see how different they are from normal Minimate legs if I put it next to another Minimate. It's missing this little block piece here. It's kind of weird. So that makes me think maybe I can't use other legs, but let me try. Alright, I've tried fitting him with a new pair of legs, but now the legs themselves are very loose. The new legs that I've given him are very, very loose. Can't see it, but they are very wobbly. So since it's my favorite thing to do anyway, I'm just going to blame Microsoft. Microsoft, I blame you. So even with the boots and everything on, he is still very weird because you have to pose him in such a way where he has to be leaning to one side or he's only standing on one foot, and that's really, really annoying. Disappointment for George, or disappointment number 2 for George, comes in the form of his weapon. Now, if you've been following these reviews, you'll know that I've been complaining about the fact that he has that the figures in this wave have nothing but battle rifles. But since George comes with a chain gun, you'd think I'd be happy about that. I would be happy with it if he could actually hold it. Now, if you see here, it's a very nice looking piece of plastic. It's very Minimate looking chain gun. There's a handle there that looks like you could use to hold it, but if you try and put it in his hand, it will just... he'll have to hold it like this sideways, or down at his side, which isn't very practical. The only way that I've been able to display him that looks like he's actually going to be able to fire it is here on the back. There's this little thing here that I just put in his hand like that and have him hold it like this, which looks a little bit ridiculous, and it makes him very top heavy, or forward heavy, because it just keeps pushing him forward. For me, the best thing about this figure is that, unlike Master Chief or anybody else, just has a blank head. If you were to remove George's helmet, you would get a very nice face. There you go. There's George. This is very nicely detailed. This is probably one of the best Minimate faces I've seen in a long time. His hair, I usually don't like it when they paint the hair on the figures, but this looks fantastic. Sure, if you were to display him like this, he'd have a hole in his head, but that really doesn't matter. You can see his face is really nice. He's got a scar there, probably from a knife. Very angry looking. Got a nice little stash there. Got some stubble. Very defining cheekbones. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't have to state it again, but I am very disappointed with this figure. I think they could have done a better job. Now, I'm not sure if it's just me, or if all of the Georges have this problem, but I'm very disappointed in you. Very disappointed. Now, to make up for George's overall lacklusterness, we were given an all-around great figure, Noble 6. As usual, I will start this off with his face, or his mask anyway. Mask is very nice. Again, it's a new piece, so it's not just Master Chief with a new paint job. He's got this new black visor thing. A lot of the differences from the Master Chief helmet. It's got these black lines in the back. Very nice. Like with most of the Spartans in this wave, he has a blank face. Again, I was expecting kind of just a general repaint there, but he is given an all-new looking chest piece. The back piece is also different. Instead of having a kind of waist thing here where you just turn him from here, you kind of have to turn him there, so that hinders that because this is all one piece. He has the same leg piece as George, only you know, he doesn't have the loose leg or anything like that. Yeah, I gotta say, the only thing I don't like about this figure is that you can't turn his, you can't turn his legs too far. That's literally the only thing I have a problem with on this figure. His articulation up top isn't hindered by anything, which is always a great thing. So for like the 1500th time, we have another assault rifle. Same old thing. Although, unlike the other figures, this one does have a bit of a problem holding it in his hand. Not holding it, but just getting it in. Once it's in, it's fine. But it is a bit of a problem. So, obviously, for me at least, Noble 6 is the highlight of this 2-pack. Unless you're a really big fan of George, I don't think you're really going to be liking the figure if it's a common occurrence with these figures that his leg is really loose and other such things like that. But yeah, Noble 6 wins. So now, all of my Halo Minimate figures have been reviewed. What else left is there? I can answer that by saying a lot. What exactly else is there, you ask? Well, I have army builders. I have the Warthog. I have the Series 1 box set. And a few other figures. There's going to be plenty more Halo Minimate reviews in the near future.